Good afternoon. Hope you all are at home doing well, staying healthy, getting plenty of rest, and of course, staying occupied. All right. I'm going to go over the first three questions from today. So let's just go ahead and dive into number one. All right. This question is telling us that we're going to take a trip from Valdosta, Georgia. Take a trip to Valdosta, Georgia from Gainesville, Georgia. And the total distance of that trip is 280 and 1,500 miles. Okay. Now, they gave us a total. We talk all the time in class about how when they give you the total, right, there's one or two things that you would be doing. You're either going to be dividing or subtracting. All right. We haven't gotten to the point to where we're multiplying fractions yet. So as of right now, this is where we're at. Dividing and subtracting when you're provided with the total. Okay, so next thing, we have to select a car to drive. We're going to select the car to make this trip in. The car that I selected for this trip is the Honda Accord. All right, you could have selected any car that you wanted. So everything that I do with the Honda Accord here, you can do those same things or take those same steps with the Buick and the Nissan Pathfinder. All right, so and we do see the word total here, and we talked before about how we don't want to focus too much on keywords, but more so the information of what they're asking us to do here. So we don't want to get caught up in the word total, okay? But what we are trying to find the total of is how many times, or what are the total amount of times we could take 26 away from 280 and 1500s, all right? So again, you can do repeated subtraction, or we can take the steps of division. All right, and since we're currently working on division, I'm going to do this example using division. All right, so again, the total, the number that we're trying to break apart or break down, is our dividend. All right, and the dividend always goes inside the division bracket. Okay, that's where the total or the dividend goes. All right, and our divisor is 26. So we're going to do 280 and 1500ths divided by 26. The divisor goes outside of your bracket. And the way we've been talking about it in class is we're just going to introduce one digit from our dividend at a time. All right. So the first digit that we're going to introduce is the 2. Can 26 fit into 2? No, it can't. Oh, before we get started, let me go ahead and write down our steps. So we divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down, and repeat. Okay, so that's divide, multiply, subtract, then you check it, you bring down, and then you repeat it again. All right, that's supposed to be an arrow. So you're just going to repeat what you just did. All right, so we introduced the 2. Can 26 fit into 2? No, it can't, so we've used the 2. The next digit that we want to introduce is the 8. And we'll combine the 2 and the 8 to say, can 26 fit into 28? Not just 8, but 28. The answer there is yes. How many times can 26 fit into 28? One time. So we've just divided. The next step is to multiply. So now we're going to take the digit that we wrote here, the 1, multiplied by your divisor. So anytime you write a digit other than 0 in your quotient, you want to multiply that digit by your divisor. So we're going to do 1 times 26, which is 26. The next step is to subtract. 28 minus 26 leaves us with 2. All right. So now we want to introduce the next digit. All right. Oh, we're going to check. Can 26 fit into 2? No, it can't. So now the next step is to bring down. So in order to bring down, we have to introduce our next digit, which is 0, and we'll bring it down. Can 26 fit into 20? No, it can't. All right, so before we bring down another digit, we have to represent that 26 can't fit into 20 into our quotient, and we're going to say 0. All right, since our divisor doesn't have a decimal, we can introduce the decimal and move it straight up where it is, straight up into your quotient. All right, so now the next digit that we want to introduce is the 1. Can 26 fit into 201? So we're going to bring it down also. All right. And of course, 26 is way lower than 201, so we'll say yes, it can fit. All right. Now, we always talk about benchmark numbers in class. All right. Our two benchmark numbers that we always talk about are 5 and 10. So we'll try 26 times 5. All right. And we use these benchmarks to kind of give us an estimate of how many times our divisor, which is 26, can fit into, I guess in this situation, our current dividend. So we'll do 26 times 10, 0, bring down to 0. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. So that's 260. We see that 260 is way above 201. So we don't want to use that. So let's say 5 times 6, which is 30. Put my 0. Regroup my 3. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 3 more gives us 130. All right. So which one is closer? I'm leaning more towards the 130 than the 260. All right. Or you can use either one, but you know, if you go with the 5, it doesn't fit. The 10 doesn't fit. So with the 5, that means we need to move our benchmark number up. If we select the 10, then we know we need to move our benchmark number down. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the 5. So the next number that I'm going to test is 26 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Regroup my 3. 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 3 is 15. I'm still below 201. So I'm going to try another number. Another benchmark number. All right, so the next benchmark number that I'm going to try is 7. 26 times 7. 7 times 6, put my 2, regroup my 4. 7 times 2 now is 14, plus 4 more, 18. So that's 182. So I'm pretty close to 201 right now. So I know if I add another 20 to this, that's going to put me at 202, which is greater than 201. So I know that I can't multiply 26 by 8. Well, I know it doesn't fit into 201 8 times. It fits in 7 times. So I'm going to write that 7 above the 1. Now we'll do 7 times 26. Fortunately, we have the answer already, which is 182. So I'm going to write 182 under here, and then we're going to subtract. Can't take 2 from 1. You can't regroup from here, but we can regroup here like we did yesterday. So it changes to a 10. All right, now we can regroup again. So now that 10, that 0 is now a 9. This 1 is now an 11. 11 minus 2 is 9. All right, 9 minus 8 is 1. So now you check, can 26 fit into 19? No, it cannot. So the next digit that we're going to introduce is the 5. And then we'll bring the 5 down. Can 26 fit into 195, right? So we see that it can. If it fits into 201 7 times, we see that it can also fit into 195 7 times, right? And we know we can't go above that because it's closer to 195 than it was 201, and we could not go above 201. So since we know 26 can fit into 195, I'm going to add my 7 there. Now I'm going to do 7 times 26. Again, that's 182. And then we'll subtract. All right. Then we have, I'm going to change my color up here so we can see. 5 minus 2, which is 3. 9 minus 8, which is 1. All right. Now we say, can 26 fit into 13? And it cannot. All right. Now, but they also want us to round our answer to the nearest hundredths place. Right now, we're at the hundredths place. So in order to round to the nearest hundredth, we need to have 1,000th, which means that we need to add another digit to our dividend after the 5 that won't change the value of the number. The only number that you can add that won't change the value of the number is a 0. This is the same thing because there are 150 thousandths and 1500ths. Bring down that 0. How many times can 26 fit into 130? Well, if I go over to my benchmark numbers, earlier I saw that 26 can fit into 130 5 times. So I'm going to write that 5 up here above the 0. All right, so go back to black. All right, and that's my answer there. Then we're going to multiply 5 times 26, which is 130. Subtract, and you have 0. So our answer is 10 and 775 thousandths. Now we want to round to the nearest hundreds. As we always talk about in class, you need to identify yourself, which is whatever place value they ask you to round to. So you are the hundredths place, and your best friend or your right-hand man, which is the thousandths place. And as we say, if your best friend is the number 5 or greater than 5, your digit will go up. You move your digit up. Or if your best friend is the number 4 or lower than 4, all right, 4 or less, then you're going to stay the same. All right, and we know everything in front of you stays the same. In this situation, your best friend is a 5, influencing you to go up, so then you'll go up to an 8. So we'll say that the trip for me would require about 10 7/8 gallons. All right. Of course, they want you to write your answer in a complete sentence.